Hello, boys and girls, moms and dads. How are you? Thank you for joining Book Talk with Mrs. Baker. It must be Tuesday, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm just hesitating because my dogs are starting to make a little bit of noise, so stay tuned. They may be the star of the show. I'm so glad you're with me. Can we just take a minute just to do one of our breaths together? Do you remember the bunny breath? Let me remind you if you've forgotten how to do it. You take 3 breaths in quickly through your nose so you make your nose nice and minty. Big breaths so you really feel that cleansing air. And then a big puff out as though you're trying to warm up your hands on these cold days. Shall we try it? Let's go. Ready? Do you feel it? Do you see what I mean about like making your nose minty? Yeah, really take that breath in. Here we go. Let's do it again. I need one more. Good job, boys and girls. I've been feeling a little bit nervous lately. I feel nervous a lot. So I have lots of tricks that I use because honestly, if I can be totally honest with you, a lot of people feel nervous a lot of the time, and you have to find what works for you to calm yourself down. And the more times we talk about it, maybe something that helps me can help you. Well, I'm going to get right down to reading the book, The Dot. And lots of you have read this before with me, and so we're going to read it again. And every time we read a book, don't you find new things? So let's get started. It's called The Dot. And of course, this is written by Peter Reynolds. I hope that you can see the illustrations, but if you can't, request this book in a book bundle or a Storytime to Go kit. To this week alone, we've had 22 requests for Storytime to Go. Oh, what's a Storytime to Go kit? Oh, they're the most wonderful things. What I do is I collect 8, 10, 12 books on a theme, depending on how many books on a theme I have. And I put in a bag some inspirational songs, poems, things that we've done together, a color sheet, and generally 2 crafts, 2 separate crafts that you can do with the big people that take care of you. So have those big people request that Storytime to Go. We can deliver it curbside or someone can come in and pick it up. But do it now. We're having a lot of fun with that. All right. Don't I always do that? I say I'm going to read and I don't. But if you're ready to listen, I'm ready to read. I'm so glad you're here. The Dot by Peter Reynolds. Can you see this book has been taken out a lot? Mm-hmm. You can tell that by the date stamp, can't you? The Dot. The Dot. Say it with me. The Dot. Art class was over, but Vashi sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Look at Vashi's body language. Vashi's a little stumped. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. Oh, I've heard you say that before. Her teacher just smiled. Give me a smile, boys and girls. That's a weird smile, Mrs. Baker. There, I thought of you. It made me smile. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There, Oh, I've felt that way before. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper towards Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Oh, clever teacher. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. That's true. You and I have worked on that together. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see that there was to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. Do that with me, boys and girls. Do a good. That was a really good one. Let's try it again. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and she set to work. She's going to show that teacher. Vashti painted and painted a red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow, she discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. Oh, look at it. It's really coming together. If I can make little dots, then I can make big dots too. Now, here's one of those connections, right? Those connections we always talk about. Don't I always say, if you can read a few words together and a few more words together, you're going to end up reading pretty soon. And then there's no book you can't read. Think of that. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. And Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. Do you see how she did that? At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Yeah, it sure did. Vashti's got a good art teacher too. And Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "Oh, I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw. I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler." He's not believing in himself, is he? Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle. And then she said, "Sign it." How do you think that made him feel? I bet that made him feel better about himself. And dedicated to Mr. Matson, my 7th grade math teacher, who dared me to make my mark. Do you think that the author illustrator had the same experience and chose to write about it? I think so. One thing I always forget to mention, which I shouldn't forget to mention anymore, is that I want to encourage all of you to write. What the things that you are going through and the experiences that you're having are like none other. And I would love to hear about it. And I love to read your writing. So many of you give me pictures and you give me stories. And of course, just like Vashti's teacher, I keep every one of them. And you come back later and you say, "Hi, Mrs. Baker, I've missed you." And then you spot on my desk that I still have your picture. And sometimes it really embarrasses you because no one really likes to see their old schoolwork. But you know what? It's special to me because it's special to you. So keep on writing and keep on drawing. And remember, our library is open and available to you. We have curbside service, or you could have your grown-up make a reservation and you can come in and see me and choose some books when the time is right for your family to do that. Well, of course, because I've written a book that I didn't write myself, I have to remind you that under the guidelines of fair use, this has been a production of Baker Company in cooperation with Elkins Public Library and the town of Canterbury. It is not for profit, educational use only, and cannot be copied or sold without my written permission, the permission of Elkins Public Library, or the town of Canterbury. I have to say all that stuff, but that's okay. It allows me to see you every week. And until next week, if I don't see you at the library before, remember this: I love you and I'm so proud of you.